All right. Hi. My name is David Zunker, and I'm going to be presenting a series of watch party slash videos to look up later about ceremonial magic. And it's going to be a class based on doing more than me talking. So I just wanted to start things off with a short video. Generally, these class video is going to go for like an hour and a half. Okay, so this is just getting practice, and it's just me, not a class, me with a class. And what I want to do is show you some of the books that we're going to be referencing, and people can use to learn on their own, which is what this is going to be really about. So I wanted to show, first of all, oh, that's not it. We're going to be talking about what's called the mystical Qabalah, also called the Hermetic Qabalah, and of course that's Qabalah with a Q. And there's lots of material, and our primary text book is going to be, without the snazzy cover to identify it probably easier, is the Qabalistic Tarot by Robert Wang. And Robert Wang was the secretary for Israeli Regardie, and because primarily in this class, what we're going to be doing is called path working, is setting up a magical temple space with the participants in our space here in Victoria. And then we're going to conduct meditations after bringing in the appropriate energies to sync us, the participants, which include you if you like, up to the proper sort of tuning into the correct current or vibe to get the information there on the tree of life. So, of course, the Qabalistic tree of life is referenced in the tarot. So we combine these. It's sort of going to be like learning about the tarot from the tarot firsthand with the inner experience and inner sight. So Qabalistic Tarot by Robert Wang is probably going to be our go-to reference material for the courses. There's lots of other ones though, so which I got stacked around me. Of course, the other biggie, there's newer versions, and this is sort of the old-fashioned standby, but the Golden Dawn by Israeli Regardie, and this will be explaining the setting up of the temple, invocations, banishings, all these various magical tools that we're using. So oftentimes I will be developing some handouts, some PDFs that people can maybe pick up from me online. I can send these out, but a lot of this is going to be material from the Golden Dawn and their ceremonial practices. I was never formally in the Golden Dawn. There are Golden Dawn organizations still around, hypothetically. But we definitely use those techniques. So those are the two biggies: Qabalistic Tarot by Robert Wang, and who happened to be the personal secretary for the author of The Golden Dawn. So these are two big references. Depending upon how many months it takes us to get through the initial beginning grounding exercise into traversing the whole tree of life, after some, which will be then more than 32 weeks, we might move into the tattvas. And here's just a little example, magical tattva cards. I've seen it spelled with T-A-T-T-V-A as well, because it's referenced in certainly in other publications. But it's an excellent way to learn about the magical 5 elements of fire, air, earth, water, and spirit by using tattva meditation techniques, which we will be demonstrating, giving you to participate in. That's kind of the way the course is going to be. Do it and then figure it out later what you did. Then there's all kinds of other material. I certainly don't have every book, available. It's all over the place. Magic, what used to be called occult secrets are readily available for the most part these days. Speaking thereof, Mr. Crowley's 777 is an indispensable reference material. I believe it is probably completely available free online. But there's various charts, descriptions of the incense smells for the various different levels and places, and colors, and that sort of material. That's all about setting up the temple to focus the mind and soul is referenced here. So that gets a lot of use too. But you don't have to buy it, and it's really hard to read anyway. It's charts and reference material. We may not get that far, but if we do get that far at some point, we hope to also go into more specifics around Enochian magic. And I know there's a few sources for that, but I like this guy. It's straightforward, and he leaves it up to you to figure it out, really. And if you can't, then you're not getting it anyway. So that is Schueler, correct? Gerald Schueler, Enochian Magic. That's a few of those that he did. And then, of course, just some other examples, which is Qabalah, which is, it's in there, good stuff in there. Another reference, of course, which I would recommend to everyone, is the original old-fashioned, good old Dion fortunes. Can you read that? There we go, that's better. The Mystical Qabala by Dion Fortune. Let's have a reference there. When was that published? For 1935 initially. So, but that's the Mystical Qabala. That's how I spell it, or maybe without the H on the end. And Dion Fortune, of course, was in the endings of the original Golden Dawn in England. She ended up forming her own occult fraternity called the Servants of the Light, which still goes on. And I think I got a book here by the current head of the Servants of the Light, another good one, and Shining Paths by Delores Ashcroft-Nowicki. She's a good reference for all this material. She kind of goes away from it in more recent decades, but this volume is from, come on, man. Originally 83, second published 97. Shining Paths, which is essentially the work we do is called path working, and that's what she's referencing here. But she's really kind of too controlling and specific, but it's the right idea in many ways. Other volumes, Techniques of High Magic, Manual for Self-Initiation, Francis King. Can't go wrong with Francis King. Can't go wrong with Franz Barden, but practice of magical evocation. Well, you know what? We're going to be doing more invocation anyway, but it's just fun, and it's kind of when he was initially in German, published in German in 1956. So Franz Barden, he has his adherents. It's a bit kind of soggy, too heavy to read, too ponderous. Guided meditations, not that applicable, but Mysteria Magica, oh, they're so fun, it's so fun. These guys out of, I believe, Minnesota, Melita Denning and Osborne Phillips, it's really brilliant. It's sort of like what we're going to be doing, but we're not that technical. I'm not that technical. And that's all about, in Greek. So you don't know Greek. Of course, the Book of Thoth, Crowley's book of explanations of his tarot deck. We're maybe referencing that. Qabalistic Magic. And then the original Hebrew, Qabalah. That's just one example. There is no actual book of Qabalah, but there's a lot of different material. Zohar, look into that. Somebody else's take. High magic, high witchcraft. Ooh, the Temple of High Witchcraft. It's another way of doing it. Qabala magic. Look at that. Qabala magic. Liam Thomas Christopher. So if you want to look for that. Western Mysteries. Oh my gosh, this thing's as heavy heavier than the Golden Dawn book I got. Western Mysteries. David Allen Hulse. So, however, there's all kinds of things to look up and reference, but primarily we're going to be working with techniques that are laid out in the Golden Dawn book by Gerald Regardie. There's a few of them, but this one's lighter. And Qabalistic Tarot is going to be, we're going to do a lot of our keys along with Crowley 777 around how we go about doing the meditations. So, and then as long as I got you, and then I just have these two cool ones. And I got to think, my friend Mocha for this beautiful book, which you're not getting back, and Gateways Through Light and Shadow by Frater Ashen Chasan. Hey? There we go. And there we are. Oh, yeah. Just beautiful. It's a little kind of the advanced stuff, right? And as long as I'm bragging about my books. Ooh, okay, this one's got a bag. It's the Book of Uriel, composed by my beloved friend Robert Barecki. And it is basically a book of verse and mandalas and sigils, which will get you into up the tree. Beautiful. Just gonna brag about that. Limited edition. Let me know if you want one. Oh. So more information. So I just thank you. That's where we start. And the next video will be soon also adding on here the middle pillar exercise, which you can also already access on my YouTube channel. And which I guess I could post the link. And we're going to be redoing that with the Hebrew God names. And I'm going to put up some grounding stuff before Tuesday, February 11th, when we have guests and a bit of a show. Thank you.